Hello, selfish era ladies. This is Anais from my mobile studio. I like to call it my mobile studio because it's mobile and it's a studio. Not really, but I wanted to talk about dating after the election. Okay, in case you don't know, I am single. I'm going through my selfish era. I'm not participating in the 4B movement. Just want to make that clear. And if you are, that's your choice. I'm not saying to do it or not do it. It's up to you. For me, I'm not going to. I definitely like understand those who do want to do it. You know, it's not for me because I do still want to get married. It's not like it has to happen, but you know, if I meet someone great, yeah, I would. I'm not gonna like not not marry them. But it hasn't happened yet, and I know there are still great guys in the world. So like, yeah, I still want to date the good ones. you know but that's just my choice. Again, my body, my choice. Your body, your choice. If you want to participate in 4B, cool. Like, that's your thing. Like I said, I support the ones that do it. But it's not for me. So yeah, we're all just supporting each other. If you're watching, let me know if you are. If you're comfortable, let me know if you are participating in it or not. I don't really want to explain what that is right now because that's not what this video is about. But I just want to talk about dating. Like, if you do, okay, I guess for those of us, I guess if you are in the 4B movement, you probably don't need this video since it's about dating after the election. But I just wanted to talk about some things that I was thinking about and just share them with you guys and see if maybe there's anything that you want to contribute to this. And if I look like I was crying, it's because I was. Sorry, I was doing a reaction video for another channel that I have, and I cried at the reaction, so it was happy tears. Okay, but yeah, that's why maybe I look a little messed up. So for me, yes, I still want to date. But now we have to get better at vetting the guys, obviously, because guys will lie to, for me, my thing is like, I just absolutely will not date someone who voted for Trump. That's my thing now. Whereas before, like, maybe, after I got to know them, like, maybe I could deal with, like, they voted for him in 2016 or something. But if you voted for him in this election, especially twice, like, I cannot. Like, I cannot. It's a betrayal of, like, women and, so many disenfranchised groups. Like, no thank you. So I'm done. Like, I'll work with you if I have to or something like that, but I don't have to have your babies or let you in my body, let you touch me and kiss me. Like, no, that's not gonna happen. Only the good ones. And I'm not saying everyone who didn't vote for Trump is a good one, obviously. That's why you still have to, like, have your standards, obviously. Still do your due diligence with vetting guys and everything. But I feel like we just have to have, like, an extra layer of, like, vetting before we do all the other things, although we ask everything else that we do to find out whether or not they're a good guy that we want to date. I'm just gonna say, first of all, do not, obviously it's your choice, but please, like, if you could just wait on sleeping with a guy. That's just a tip I would give you. Obviously it's not a command. It's a tip, it's advice. Don't sleep with a guy right away. Just wait. That's gonna save you so much heartbreak. It's going to help you so much with vetting guys. Do not feel pressured that you have to sleep with them so they'll like you. If they don't like you, because, like, that's one reason I, have lost a lot of guys, because I'm not going to sleep with them right away. And they're like, oh, okay, well, that's all they wanted. And then they leave. And I'm like, okay, cool. Like, they ghost me and stuff. And I'm like, cool. At least I know now. And I didn't waste my time and my body and, like, gave that to you, so that's cool. They're doing you a favor, like, when they leave, and it's up to you, your decision. But that is one advice I would give you. Please, especially now when guys will lie to sleep with you, do not. It's ultimately your decision, but my advice: do not sleep with them right away, especially if you just met them. I mean, in general, a lot of like the bad ones, they will say anything to sleep with you. But now there's, like, the extra added layer of, like, oh, I'm going to say I didn't vote for Trump or whatever. I just want to share some things to kind of look for, to kind of find out, like, how do I know, like, if they're lying? If maybe you're not very good at, like, telling whether or not someone's a liar, they're lying about that stuff. I'm not perfect. Like, I think I'm pretty good. I do have a pretty good BS meter, but yeah, once in a while, sometimes I'll be fooled. I've never been fooled by, like, someone telling me they were for Trump when they were for Kamala when, like, I haven't been fooled in that way yet. Hopefully not ever. But you know, especially a lot of F boys are really good. They're really good actors. But I was thinking of ways to tell. So first of all, don't just outright say, so who'd you vote for? Like, they're gonna know why you're asking. So they're obviously gonna lie. So don't do that. If they just volunteer, okay, well, now you have your information. But one way is to just talk about how you feel about the election and then see their reaction. Just like observe. You have to like observe their reaction. So, you know, like you can make a comment like, you know, I've done this where I'm like, oh yeah, I'm just kind of bummed. You know, I said that to this one guy I was talking to, like, oh yeah, I just needed to take a day after the election. I'm kind of like, you know, not happy. And then he was like, oh yeah, you know, it's total cluster F or something like that. So obviously he wasn't happy either, and I found out he didn't like Trump. So I'm like, okay, cool. So that's one way. I wasn't like, so who'd you vote for? You know, just saying like, oh, you know, just anything about how you feel about the election. Like, yeah, I had to take some time off, or like, yeah, I just, you know, I'm kind of disappointed about the election results, and then just see how he reacts. And that's another reason why I would suggest not sleeping with someone right away. Just like try to hold off as much as you can, because liars, especially like not very good ones, they can only lie for so long. Like eventually the truth is going to come out. So the more you can hold off, the better. Okay? And again, don't sleep with a guy because you think that's going to make him like you. Like, he's going to get what he wants and he's going to leave. And then you're going to be like, oh, why did he leave? Like, because you gave him what he wanted. Okay? So if you can, just please don't. Just wait. Okay? You're going to be much happier that you waited than like if you slept with him right away and then you realize he's not great. Like, no one's perfect. Obviously, there are some, you know, I've seen like documentaries where people were like, you didn't really realize he was a liar until after you got married. But I feel like there's always red flags, but people like miss them. So that's why you have to be very observant. That is one thing. Now, especially after the election, like when you're dating someone, like observe their actions, okay? Not just their words. Observe how they react to things. So that's another way you can kind of find out like where they stand politically. Like just bring up issues like, oh god, I hate racists or something like that, or like, oh, I hate, you know, when someone's transphobic, or, you know, maybe you can bring up a scenario where like somebody you knew, like, you know, oh yeah, someone was a jerk to my oh, that's the thing. If you have like gay relatives, gay friends, like gay coworkers, transphobic, you know, trans friends, maybe, oh my gosh, I love this, you know, influencer and they're trans or something. Bring them up and then just see how they react. Like, I feel like it's going to be pretty obvious because I met both types of guys. Like the ones that are good and tolerant and, you know, the good guys, they're like not going to be bothered. They're just going to be like, oh, okay, cool. Like that's just, they're going to be a reaction like whatever, you know, it's like not a big deal because like they don't hate them, you know. But like someone who is a hateful person, you know, is transphobic, is homophobic, like you're going to see like, it's kind of hard to describe if like, but like just pay attention, you know. There might be like, oh, like there might make a face like, you know, like, yeah, I don't really like this, you know. Just so that's, I think, one way you can tell. Like, you know, let's say you bring up your gay best friend and then someone who's not will be like, you know, like it might not be that exact reaction, but that's obviously someone who's like, I don't like that, you know. Their nose might go up a little bit like, oh, gross. But a healthy guy who is not a hateful person will just be like, oh, cool, you know, like, whatever, you know, like, you know, I'd love to meet him. I don't know, like, they're just going to be like, whatever, you know. So that's one way you can kind of tell, like, where they are. If you, maybe your parents are immigrants, bring up your immigrant parents and then see how they react, especially if, like, you're a minority, like, you can see how they react. So just bring up different issues like that. Women's rights, like, oh god, like, I don't, like, you know, I'm kind of like worried about our country because, you know, not like, you know, the election results made me feel like people don't care about women. A healthy guy's gonna be like, yeah, you know, I agree, and like, yeah, it's freaking messed up. And I'm saying this because I know guys like this who are supportive, you know. So like they're gonna be like, yeah, it's so messed up, you know, F those people, blah blah. Again, some guys can be really good actors, but I feel like if you talk about this enough, like eventually you'll see. And then, you know, if a guy's not supportive, that might be like, Uh-huh. Yeah. Sure. It's like, come on, who do you think is a genuine one and who do you think is a liar? Like, come on. You have to become better at reading people. Okay. I think I'm pretty good. I'm a very intuitive person. Like I said, I'm not perfect, but I'm a very intuitive person. I feel vibes. Like, I've been the kind of person since I was a little kid where I'll be like, oh, I don't have a good feeling about this person. I have a bad vibe. And people thought I was crazy. And then, you find out they're like, doing stuff with minors, and I'm like, hello, I told you. So no one believes me. You just have to have that extra layer now of like just trying to see who's a Trump supporter or not. Again, first tip, don't sleep with a guy right away. That's just gonna, not just the Trump supporters, but that's just gonna do away with so many guys. Like, even if like they're Kamala supporters, like, there's still guys like that who are just gonna be F-boys. So like, just general advice, like, don't do it. Like, it's not really like empowering in my opinion, because you gave the guy what he wanted and then like you're gonna feel bad because he doesn't want to be with you. So hold off. Okay, in my experience dating good guys, good men, I will say men, good men, like, they do not get bothered. Like, if you want to wait, they'll respect you. Simple. They don't bring it up all the time, like, try to pressure me. They're just like, okay, that's fine. Like, totally understand. That's a healthy reaction. Okay. It's the idiots, selfish idiots who, they're going to make up any excuse, try to pressure you, stuff like that. And, I'm trying to share this too in case you've never dated a good man, because, it makes me sad when, like, at least because I have at least experiences with both, good ones and bad ones. So it's easier for me, I think, to tell a good one from a bad one. But, I know women that it's like they've never dated a good man. So it's like they have a hard time telling who's good and who's bad. And I want to like shake them, like, come on, listen to me. Like, I just wish I could vet every guy that you guys want to date. Because the examples I see sometimes, I'm like, girl, let me be your friend, okay? If you want to date a guy, send me his profile, send me everything, and I'll tell you. Let me observe him and I'll tell you. Because, I'm in like Facebook groups where girls talk about dating, and I'm like looking at the profile, I'm like, dude, like, I never would have swiped on this guy, and you're all hung up on him. I'm like, so yeah, if you need my advice on like guys, that whether it's like, just DM me or something, I might offer like some kind of service, because like I just want to help women. Because I'm like, girl. But it's because maybe, like I said, maybe some of you guys have never dated a good man. Maybe you don't have good role models, so it's harder for you. So that's why. But I'm trying to help you guys by sharing a healthy reaction and a non-healthy reaction from a guy. So again, first of all, if you can, just hold off on sleeping with a guy as much as you can. I forgot about this tip. Second, look at his social media. If he has social media, I know some guys don't, so it's kind of hard. Also, one pro tip. This obviously is not for every guy, but the good men, they are barely on social media. They might have it, but they barely post on it. That's a pattern I've seen. So don't, like, if you're like, oh, he doesn't have social media or he barely posts, that's shady. It's like, no, that's actually, like, most of the time it's a good thing, because he has work, he has goals, he's doing other stuff. He's not, why would you want a guy who's always on Instagram and TikTok? That's weird. Like, no. You want a guy who's working, who has goals, who has a life. Like, to me, it's a red flag. If you're online constantly, I'm like, ugh, immature. I'm 38, just in case you're wondering. I'm 38, so I have a lot of experience. So yeah, look at his social media. I feel like that's going to definitely tell a lot. Not all the time, especially if they don't post about politics, but like, look at captions. Look at how they talk about women. Like, if they have a picture with a woman, look, like, not just a picture, but like, read the captions. Like, I feel like that says a lot. And again, I know some F-boys are really good. Like, I've dated some where it's like, if you look on their social media, oh, they seem like such a sweet guy. And then you get to know them, it's like, oh, they're just players. And so you still have to be careful. But I feel like it'll at least tell you whether or not he's a Trump supporter or not. Not all the time, but that's just one tool you can use to kind of see, like. Third, share your feelings about the election. Don't be afraid, okay? Selfish era. Do not be afraid to share your feelings, okay? They're not afraid to share their feelings. So don't be afraid, okay? They have the audacity to share how they hate people. So you should have the audacity to share how you feel and how you love people. Okay, not everyone. I don't love everyone. Sorry. Some people are just not that great. Keeping it real. Have the audacity. That's the thing. Like, I feel like sometimes we are so like, oh my gosh, like we don't want to hurt people's feelings. Like, do they care about your feelings? No. Selfish era. Share your feelings. Okay, you can share your feelings too. So share your feelings about the election and see how they react. And then, like, online it's kind of easy too, because you'll share something, about a cause. I've done it, and like you can see how they react. Like, and I'm like, cool. Now I know I can block you. Awesome. Thank you. So that's a good thing about sharing your feelings, because the way they react, it's going to let you know whether you should block them or not. So share your feelings about the election, and then share your feelings about different issues that are important to you, whether it's the environment, talk about the gay people in your life, trans people in your life, like I said, influencers, just anyone, minorities, and just see how they react. If you speak another language, yo también hablo español, italiano, un po de italiano, un po de francés. So speak another language and then see how they react. That's a good way. I forgot about that tip. That is a good way to find out if they're an intolerant person. Because when I speak another language in front of like a good dude, a good man, they're like, oh, that's awesome. Like, oh wow, you speak another language, that's cool. Oh, you speak Spanish, oh, that's cool. Like, they think it's cool, because it is. But a bigot is gonna be like annoyed. They're like, don't speak like that, this is America. That's so obvious. Definitely do not go out with that guy ever again. Block him. Just get rid of him. Like, just ignore him for the rest of your life. So that is a tool you have. If you are multilingual, speak another language randomly. Just say something, like, be yourself. Like, if you want to speak another language, like, sometimes I'll just say random stuff in Italian or Spanish or whatever. And like, if they get mad, like, first of all, I don't care, and second of all, that just tells me, okay, well, you're a bigot. Like, it shouldn't bother you. Okay, bye. Like, I'll block you up. You're not gonna be in my life. I'm definitely not gonna date you. And like I said, the good ones, like, they think it's awesome. Like, a good person's gonna be like, oh, that's awesome. You speak another language, that's great. When I go to other countries, or even here, like, I love when I hear other languages. I'm like, ooh, like, I try to guess. I'm like, I try to figure out like what language they're talking. But I'm not like, this is America. America doesn't have an official language, just in case you didn't know. Go back to school if you didn't know that. All right, so many people need to go back to school. They need to take a government ethics class. Luckily, I took a really good government class, so I would shout him out, the teacher, but privacy, so he knows who he is if he's watching. But yeah, those are some of my tips. Let me know if you have any other tips. Post them in the comments. Please share any other tips you have to kind of find out who is, Trump lover. It's ways that aren't like, who'd you vote for? Don't do that. I'm gonna say, do not do that, because they're gonna lie. They're gonna lie. If they're a Kamala supporter, well, they're not gonna lie. But like, don't do it. It's gonna turn off a good man. Like, a good man could get turned off by you just being like right away, so who'd you vote for? It's like, dang girl, like calm down. That's not gonna attract a good man. And then the bad ones, like, they're gonna lie. So don't do it that way. Just observe. Just, again, talk about all these issues that matter to you, women's rights, LGBTQ, like, and just see how they react. And try not to sleep with them as much as you can. Try to hold off as much as possible, because their true colors will like come out. Because guys can only keep up the act for so long, and I've seen it. Guys who like try to act, like, sometimes they can't even go past 1 or 2 dates before the true colors come out. It's like, dang, that was fast. It's like, yeah, I can only pretend to be a decent guy for like 1 or 2 dates. Now I have to be like my true douchebag self. A good man, they can still be a good man for years later, because they're not lying and they're a good man. And I know, because I know good men, and I've known them for years, some over 10 years, and they're still good because they're not a-holes. So that's it. Sorry, it was really long, but I had a lot to say. But please, like, once again, share your tips below so we can have like a good list. We can all help each other of like things we can do to find out who's a Trump supporter, who is not. But again, even if though they're not a Trump supporter, like they could still be a douchebag. So just protect yourself. Definitely, like, probably learn to carry a gun and shoot. I'm probably gonna have to do that. A self-defense lesson's gonna be great. I mean, we need to do that. But yeah, not all guys are bad. Like I said, I know some really good ones. I wish I could have them on this channel, but privacy. But yeah, shout out to all the good men, even though they're probably not gonna see this because it's just for us. I'll talk to you guys later. I would love to see your comments. Bye.